Hi, everybody. This is Zoe at the Energy Coalition, and I'm really excited to invite you all to tune in to the first installment of our new webinar series, My Energy Future. So, in this series, we're going to have STEM professionals from all different backgrounds, stages of career, types of career. They're going to come in and talk to you about what they do, where they're from, and things that they've learned along the way. So I'm excited to welcome our very first speaker, Bernardo Valdez, who's going to tell you about his work and his experience.
All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Bernardo Valdez. I'm an electrical engineer at FCI. Stands for Fluent Components International. So what do I do in my job? I'm a part of the sustaining engineering group. My main task is to keep all our units up to date regarding electrical components and hardware issues. So as you can see on the pictures, what we do is our product on the picture on your right senses any liquid, fluid, or gas and chemicals that go through that pipe. What we contribute to the environment as far as FCI is that our units go into waste management plants to detect dangerous gases, water treatment, oil and gas industries, nuclear facilities, and food and beverages. So our company is pretty much everywhere across the United States, China, Europe, Canada. We pretty much sell worldwide. So a little bit about my background. I was born in Los Angeles in the city called La Puente. Was there till I was around 5 years, and then my dad got a job down here in San Diego and been living here since. We're a family of three. I'm the oldest one, and I have two younger sisters. And my parents were born in Mexico. And just a little background as far as we're in Mexico. We're from Guadalajara, and there's a little picture that every year we usually go to our grandparents' ranch, and we help start planting for the next year's crops. So a little bit about my hobbies. So currently I've been doing a lot of paintballing and boogie boarding, especially during the summer. I like to do a lot of woodwork and play guitar. Also building little gadgets. So as you can see in your picture on your right, I'm a big video game fan. So I don't know if you guys recall the Assassin's Creed series, but I ended up building a little wooden box fixture to put all the games that I've collected throughout the years. And also that was my first drone that I built. And so far it's been working fine. Haven't had any issues so far. As a kid, one of my interests that related to my work nowadays is every time my dad used to throw away old electronics as far as like radios, TVs, or even every time we updated a computer, I will always go inside and start opening them. Even though sometimes I won't fix it, it just ended up being more broken. It intrigued me because I was able to see all those little components that work together. I didn't know what they were doing at the moment yet. As my education progressed, then all those little things that I used to see when I was a kid started linking together. And also my dad, he's very handy as far as working on the house and always fixing stuff. So I will always be shadowing him regarding as far as learning new things that he will be working on. So as I mentioned, I graduated from SCSU with a bachelor's in electrical engineering in 2016. I'm from the South Bay area, so I graduated at Castle Park High School, class of '09. Regarding my preparation to college, I was part of the Compact for Success program. And from what that required is through your high school education, you're supposed to meet certain requirements and pass certain classes. And if you pass all those classes with good grades, you're pretty much guaranteed a spot at San Diego State University. It was a partnership between Sweetwater and San Diego State. Other than that, I was just a regular kid in high school. I played sports, football, track and field. I was very geeky as far as hanging out with friends, and mainly we spent all our weekends playing video games. So it was a nice little part of high school. So enjoy your time being in high school as you can. Once I started college, I went from high school straight to San Diego State. It was a big difference. There's no people telling you what to do. They don't care if you turn in your homework or not. It's pretty much up to you. When I entered there, I entered with my major as electrical engineer, and MESA, which is a mathematical engineering science achievement program, they reached out to me. So what they do is all the incoming freshmen, they prepare you as far as giving you guidance regarding where to go in the university to submit applications, your financial aid, counselors. They'll also offer tutoring, and part of tutoring is that you start meeting colleagues that are in the same field as you are. And the more people you have that are on the same field, that turns to be your little group of friends. Because every year you'll have the same classes with them over and over again until you guys graduate. So once you guys enter college, start finding little groups like that that will help you prosper. Also, I was part of the SHIP, which is the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, and those are little programs, student organizations that San Diego State has. And what that did, it opened up as far as me being able to have a lot of professional contacts. So every week we'll have guest speakers, just like me. I'm talking to you guys. We'll have professionals come to us and talk about their experiences regarding how is it working outside on the real world as far as being an electrical engineer. And for me, I'm pretty much telling you guys how is it on the real life after graduating high school. So there's different little steps that you guys take. And part of SHIP that helped us a lot, seeing what's out there beyond the frontier. So that's great. So there was a lot of things I had to learn along the way. As I mentioned before, I was the oldest one. So there's a lot of things that I didn't have a big brother as far as to tell him what to expect and what else will be coming after you graduate. And also my parents, they come from Mexico, as I mentioned. So mainly their highest education was probably middle school. So they didn't have too much experience as far as college application, financial aid. That was a big one. And all the other little things that comes into play. So one thing that I had to learn was always keep an open mind and willing to learn. So I always ask questions when there were seminars in high school, especially like the financial aid presentations. My mom and dad and I will go see how we can take advantage of that and how can we prepare for college. I also part in high school, there was a advit class where people from college will come to us and they'll help us guide in the application. Also studying skills. So I know in I don't know if they still do this, but back in high school they'll do the Cornell notes, I believe. That didn't work for me, so I had to find other ways to study. Mainly, I'll reread things at night and in the morning, trying to learn as much as I can. And also, once you start college, you got so many classes, so many things are happening that you have to be able to set your priorities. There will be occasions where your buddies will be, oh, let's go to the movies tonight, but you have a midterm tomorrow. So you have to think and choose, should I stay up all night, go watch some movies, and then suffer tomorrow, or study today and pass my midterm, and then as a reward, go watch the movie? So there's little things that you have to keep into consideration. Also, that comes time management. So that's a big one. Sometimes you'll be spending too much time in one little project, and the day is only like 24 hours a whole day, and you have to be able to divide all your little tasks. And as far as dividing them, make sure you're able to do as much as you can to complete them. And like I mentioned, being the first generation to attend college, and my two younger sisters. So once I start learning all those little aspects, and my sisters grew up and they went to college after I graduated, so they had it a little bit easier because I was able to point them to the right direction as far as, okay, here's your FAFSA application. Don't forget to fill it out. And then once college starts, you have to get all the papers ready, your classes ready. And so they had it a little bit easier, but I did make them struggle a little bit because I can't just spoon feed them. Sometimes you have to learn, and that's the best way to learn. So my advice to you, as far as you guys proceed into your educational path, is never stop being curious. If you guys are hobbyists, start working on something, especially now that there's so much stuff on the internet nowadays, which I kind of wish there was that much stuff back in our days. You guys could pretty much Google anything that you guys are interested in and learn. and every day you could pretty much learn something new. One thing that I stand for is that never leave tomorrow what you can do today. There's a lot of times that you'll just be dwelling as far as ideas or tasks. Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. So sometimes you just have to grab ground and start from today and finish all your tasks. And tomorrow you could probably be relaxing once you finish all your duties that you have to do. And also don't be afraid of trying new things. In my experience, there's been, for example, the drone. When I built it, I was hesitant as far as building it. Maybe it won't come out correct, but I tried it. I failed a couple things, but failing is part of learning. So don't be afraid to fail, because that's just part of your experience. And the more experience you guys have, the more well off you guys will be. And also, this is another thing that got me driven as far as my career is if somebody else can do it, so can you. So that's my last giveaway. You will see that there'll be some people that achieve greatness sooner than others, and others will just come naturally. But as far as working hard for it, there's no limit for that. If you put the work into it, you'll be able to achieve pretty much anything. And as far as achieving your goals, everything is possible. So just keep on working on it. And on the side, I put a little image, and it's true. It takes a while to know that it looks like that, but in your mind, you always have this goal. I'm gonna graduate. It's gonna go smooth. But sometimes there's stuff that happens throughout the life, and you just have to stay strong and learn how to work with it. I had some occasions where I didn't pass one class in college, and I was bummed out. He said, "Oh man, I this is hard. I'm not gonna make it." But next semester rolled over. I studied hard for it. I passed it and moved on. And if you set your mind to it, you can do it. It's just a lot of little roadblocks that you will get, and it's part of life that you guys will have to eventually work with it and go from there. Well, thank you guys for having the time to listen to my story, and I'll give this back to Zoe. Thank you.
Hey, Bernardo, this is Zoe at the Energy Coalition jumping in again. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It was really great to hear where you're coming from, what you're doing, and thank you so much for sharing that and all the great advice from things that you've learned along the way. So, what I'd like to do now is we've collected a list of student questions from some elementary school students, and I'm going to share these questions with you. They're going to be about your work and your life, and I'm hoping you can give us a few more of your thoughts. I'll just jump right into it. So, we have a question from a student at Rosa Parks Elementary School, and this question is, how did you know what you wanted to be, and when did you figure that out?
Oh, that's a good one. Thanks. So when I was in high school, I wanted to be a math teacher. That's one thing. And in back of my head, I wanted to be a policeman also, but that changed. I know my dad. He said he will be saying, "Oh, you could be a electrician on working on cars." So I was like, "Okay, let's do it." I kind of went for it blindly. As soon as we went to college and we registered and I started taking classes on my major, it was way beyond what I thought. So you had to do a lot of programming and work with the electrical components. And when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is actually pretty cool," because from what I've used to work tinker with, you actually got to learn as far as knowing what all the little components used to be, and pretty much I learned to love it. But don't be afraid of exploring other fields if you don't know what to major on.
Great. Thanks for that. That's great advice. Yeah, I think not many of us know what we want to be when we grow up, especially, or sometimes we do, and it changes. So
Oh
thanks
yeah.
for sharing your experience with that. This question is from a student at Wilmington Park Elementary School in Long Beach. The question is, have you ever had to do something at work that you didn't know how to do, and how did you learn, or how did you react?
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah. So when I started working here in this company, Fluid Components International, I didn't know what I was getting into. I just saw the position as electrical engineer. I was all right, let's do it. And I really didn't knew that it's a lot of things that I didn't knew regarding how do we measure the flow, little tricks as far as circuitry layouts. And how I learn is every time I come home from work, I'll go on the internet and I'll start researching, opening up my books from college, looking into different things that we were doing at work, and also asking around. So at work, there's a lot of people that are willing to help you out. So I will talk to my boss regarding more books that I could read as far as regarding to my field. And luckily, a lot of people in there are pretty friendly, so they'll share their experiences with you. And that's the other thing, as far as if you're stuck in a roadblock where you don't know or you don't know the answer, don't be afraid to ask. And now that the internet is out there, Googling, I guess the term is called now, you can find a lot of stuff in the internet. And that or go local library and start reading some books. So that's that.
Okay, thanks very much. And just do you have any final thoughts to wrap up? Anything else you'd like to say?
Well, thank you, Soy, for giving me the opportunity to share my experience. And as far as going through the educational path, just keep on striving and don't be afraid to ask questions along the way.
Thanks so much again, Bernardo, for sharing your experience with us. It was really a pleasure to get to know you today, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and we have a lot more great people who are coming to speak with you, and we're really excited to share them. So be sure to tune in next time.